Don't look under the internet.
Are we rolling?
Yeah,
We're rolling? Okay.
Rolling.
Hi, everybody. I have a fun game I want to play, especially with the two boys here, but the listeners as well. Guess who I am? Ready?
Okay.
Hi. Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet.
Is he
Who am I?
copying himself?
I think so.
I'm copying myself. So, on the last episode with Polybius, I said and way too many times.
Hey, you know
Let's be honest.
Let's see, I actually have a counter on the desktop of my computer that tracks you every time you say that word.
Get the fuck out, do you?
Yeah, no, you're literally, from last episode, you were at 738.
That can't be right.
Yeah, look.
Well, let's put an end to that.
Shame.
So, I have a fun game for you at home to play, you listeners. There it
Can
is.
we play too?
So, yeah, you can play too. So, what I want to do, I have a proposal for all of you at home. I want you from this episode on to listen to how many times I say or and then I want you to either leave us an email. I'm getting them all out right now. Don't worry. I'm going to stop after this. I want you to send us an email at deludipod@gmail.com. I want you to add us on Twitter, deludipod. And I want you to comment on our Facebook group. I want you to say how many times I say or For every time that I've said or we are going to record me taking a shot for each one. And we're going to put it up on our social. You can also find links to all our socials on our link tree as well to make it easy so you don't have to, fumble around.
God damn.
I'm leaving this to you guys. My fate and my liver is in your hands.
Yeah, if you guys want to track his...
Please do, because I need to bite that
filler
habit.
words.
I need to bite that habit, because I love the Polybius idea. That was my idea, and I wrote the outline, and I got super nervous about it, so that explains all the ums or uhs. So I need to nip that in the butt.
Hey, I mean, you can drink along with it if you want to.
Yeah,
It'll
make
be
a fucking game out of it. We'll make a whole
wasted.
thing. Let's kill your grandma.
Just not
by
while you're
drinking.
driving. Not while you're driving.
Yeah, well, do it while you're driving. In Mario Kart.
Gotcha. I was like waiting for where that was going. but-
Anyway, I'm going to get my last ums or uhs, intentional ones, out of the way now. So, All right, it's out of the way now.
Thank the Lord.
Welcome, everybody, to Don't Look Under the Internet. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And I'm Jason.
Hi.
Hello.
We did want to give a bit of a, I guess,
Trigger warning.
disclaimer, trigger
Yeah.
warning. Yeah, we're going to be talking about some sensitive material here. There are some topics that we're going to go over that some people might not really like or enjoy, but it is very detrimental to the story, and it's a very well-made story that the internet knows about. We feel you guys would like to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep in mind that there are definitely some areas of when we're going to be talking, you'll see that there's definitely some very sensitive topics we're going over. So if
We'll get more into it closer to the end of everything,
yeah,
too.
if certain mental health aspects bother you, you don't like hearing about them, or just causes you to feel uncomfortable, like, we just want to let you know that this episode does contain that. So feel free to duck out now, but otherwise, please stay with us.
Well, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, I'm game. What
So-
are we talking about, Doug?
So today we're going to be talking about Yayvideogames.
Yay!
I was not ready for that.
The title makes it sound a lot happier than it really is.
Yeah.
We're going to be going into kind of the utter turmoil of a Reddit user, and that's kind of putting it nicely, I guess.
Yeah, so Yayvideogames was actually, it was a user tag on Reddit. All caps, Yayvideogames. And from the looks of it, it looks like that's kind of what he talks about on Reddit a lot.
So the original posts that you see from this user, if you go back, there's actually someone who put together an archive of every post that he's ever made.
Yeah, he's got over 4,000 of them.
Yep.
The weird thing is, too, this is like a pretty big deal on Reddit.
Oh yeah.
But when I was doing research, there weren't that many resources. Like, I use, not to, give away, back behind the scenes footage, but I use YouTube for a lot of my research and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't any videos on YouTube about Yayvideogames. There's like 3.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they're dated by at least a year.
Yeah. It's crazy. No one's talking about this thing. You find most of this on Reddit, and you have to find it yourself. You're basically just handed all these comment threads, and you're told, go crazy. No one's really doing much to line it up for you. You have to line it up yourself for the most part, from what I noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually a really good topic if you are an amateur investigator, especially an internet investigator that likes to find these weird, creepy things all over. This is actually a really good subject to kind of get into, to kind of show.
I'm sure we'll get better at researching, but I will say this is probably the most difficult one I've researched because there was no one there to hand me the story. We kind of had to figure it out as we went.
Well, that and the sheer volume.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
When I was combing through like the actual posts that he made,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even like you. Yayvideogames himself there's like months worth of really cognizant, intellectual posts that he makes off of. A lot of it is from the gaming Reddit or subreddit.
Right.
It's like I said, it's really intellectual. He loves talking about modding games. He loves talking about anything that has to do with video games. And he seems like a really well-rounded person when he starts talking. And his first post from Yayvideogames was looks like April or actually February 4th of 2010. Just talking about stuff and things that normal people on Reddit would talk about. There's nothing out of the blue that would make you think, okay, who is this guy?
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing there that makes you think this guy's going to have a downward spiral very soon.
Yeah, and like I said, combing through, super normal dude.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I would have seen a comment from him, and I would have kept scrolling.
Yeah. Oh, most
I would-
people would see this conglomeration of topics that he talks about. If you started with the oldest comments first and were looking through it, you would give up and you would say, yeah, this guy's completely normal.
Mm-hmm.
Until you got to the not so normal stuff.
Yeah, and we keep kind of alluding to this not normal stuff very vaguely. It's okay, so let's fast forward. We got his first post in February of 2010.
Okay.
In just a couple months, we get to August 13th and 14th, and you see some straight repetition words being used.
Are you talking about the Ubisoft thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for even those of you that haven't heard of Yayvideogames, odds are if you're on Reddit long enough, you've even heard of this. You might not have known where it comes from, but
Yeah.
like I didn't know this was Yayvideogames, but I heard of this
Yeah,
trail of words.
You've either
before.
heard of like Mike said, either what we're about to tell you, like the repetitive phrase that he uses, you've either heard that, Yayvideogames, or just the letters YVG.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere.
There is now a Reddit, like subreddit for
Yeah.
which we're going to get
Yayvideogames,
into at the
so,
end too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, follow along there or go check it out, you definitely do that. But so we get the first incident of this string of words, and these words are Ubisoft goes Steamworks, bye bye, always on DRM.
Yeah, it's a normal phrase to tell anyone. And
Well, like I said, when you look through these archived posts that he makes, you just see that phrase over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and that's an understatement the way I'm explaining it. He does this a few times right off the bat, and then from there, back to normal posting.
yeah, and so a lot of his, like we said, his posts are on video games.
Yep.
And he's got.
I expect that from a man named Yayvideogames.
Well, right, exactly.
I wouldn't expect
Like,
him to go on a
it's-
subreddit for Polo or something.
No, yeah, they hit the nail on the head with his name. He loves all sorts of games. He talks about how he likes RPGs. He's very, very he loves the game Oblivion. We find that out.
Yeah. Yep.
The other thing that he's interested in, though, are these very indie, not well known kind of graphical platformers. And I actually have a post here, and it's by a user that was since deleted in the gaming subreddit. asking best games to play while stoned, and he lists off these 5. It's a game called Glumbuster, a game called LSD,
Glumbuster.
Yeah, Corsicovia, La 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 Land, and a game called Love.
Is La 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 Land that movie that won the Oscar?
From what I...
With Emma Stone?
With Emma Stone.
La La Land.
Stole that from that Moonlight movie.
Everything that I could find on that, I thought he was just talking about the movie, but no, they made an 8-bit version of La La Land.
Really?
It's a platformer, and it's trippy, apparently.
Did they get Emma Stone to write off on it?
I didn't dig that far.
Oh, her lawyers are on top of it.
I'll email her and ask her.
I'll tweet at her. Emma, did you know?
She'll for sure write back.
Oh, yeah. She'd be like, hey, Mike, nice to talk to you again.
She's not busy filming.
Are you
Cruella?
well?
No, not at all. Which, oh my god, I'm so excited for that.
I know, right?
But, yeah, so he lists off these 5 really, really strange graphical video games that no one has really ever heard of. And so I did a little bit of digging into each of them. Most of them actually share a tag. And the tag is that these are very good. These are games that you can play that will give you kind of an introduction into what like chronic depression is like. And I've actually come across a few games that try to do that. It's like Depression Simulator, which sounds horrible. And why the hell would you want to play that? But like it does. It gives you an idea of how hopeless and how like terrible you feel when you're that way. And all these games share that. Which I feel like that connection is definitely going to come up a little bit later.
Oh yeah, that doesn't.
It took me a second to actually make it, but
that doesn't scream warning. I don't know what doesn't.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so like I said, all of these posts have been pretty normal on video game Reddits or subreddits. I mean, just talking about stuff that he loves talking about, and then you get to a very, very confused post about Oblivion. And its mods and like what you need, what you want to install, what you don't.
Yes. So there was a conversation about an Oblivion mod on Reddit by a user named u/I wish I was a meme.
Same.
Don't we all? I think everyone during the pandemic was a meme at some point. They were that dog sitting on the table, just this is fine.
Yep.
At some point, everyone was that.
Absolutely.
So. I wish I was a meme, asked a question in our gaming about which Oblivion mod is like the site's favorite, to where we see Yayvideogames kind of come in for the first time to be kind of more cryptic, and this I wouldn't say is the avalanche of everything, but this is kind of what I saw put him on the radar of where he is now when it comes to fame. You know what I mean?
This definitely seems like where people started being like, what?
Yeah, this is where people started paying attention to everything.
Almost literally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right? Yayvideogames comments on the topic. He says, and I quote, "The uninstall button. The game is great and all that, but God, is it hard to fully remove all the junk it leaves behind on your system. You really need to check out that mod when the time comes down to get rid of it. Otherwise, I think Obscuro's Oblivion or Overhaul is a nice start." Obscuro's Oblivion Overhaul, by the way, is that Oblivion mod that they were talking about downloading.
Right. And that's a staple Oblivion mod for anyone who wants to modify their experience.
So obviously the uninstall button isn't a mod, that's just taking the fucking game off of your PC.
I mean, every single game that I own has an uninstall
yeah,
button.
So that's nothing special. So at this point, a couple people were just literally some guy just messaged what WAT is just what, and Yayvideogames just went out of his fucking way to just respond back to this guy with nothing more clear. He just says the uninstall button. The game is great. Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye always on DRM, but you oft go to work always on DR. Check out the junk it leaves behind in you.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cryptic shit. In you? Yeah, in you. I had to like triple take read that, and I'm like, oh, you gotta buy me dinner first, Steamworks. Like, shit. So I also want to leave this description for people as well, because I had no fucking clue what always on DRM was. I had to look that up. Turns out, turns out always on DRM is a form of a DRM, which stands for Digital Rights Management. This is like the description of it, by the way, like from the verbatim. It requires the consumer to remain connected to a server, especially through an internet connection, to use a particular product. So, for an example, it's basically the easiest example is like it's a video game that you can only play if you're connected to the internet, if you're online. Otherwise, you can't play it.
Blizzard.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, that's an always on DRM. Yeah, that's probably the easiest description. Obviously, that's a very lowbrow description of it, but
So what is it like housing all the mod files and stuff like that?
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after Yayvideogames mentioned,
Wasn't there like an article about something about Steam was thinking about going to always on DRM?
There was, but there wasn't that much into it. It was like one or two articles and didn't really go anywhere. It
Yeah,
was just talking about Steam's transition to a DRM, but it didn't really. I didn't really read too much into it.
I don't think it had anything to do.
Yeah,
with
I didn't
what
read
he
it
was
too much
saying.
into it because it didn't have much to do with anything.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I think it was just to help figure out what he was talking about when he said DRM.
Gotcha.
I think that's really all it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously, saying all that didn't really clarify anything to anybody.
No.
And I think because he kept getting some like hate comments, Yayvideogames did on that thread. I think he kind of took that a little too close to heart and just summoned some like inner rage because this motherfucker, like right after, makes 4,000 comments, each with the phrase "Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye bye," always on DRM in it, in some variant.
Was it just like copy pasted?
No. Some were italicized, some were bolded, some were lowercase, some were like that new SpongeBob font where it's like I don't want to do that. It was written like that. So it's like the scrawlings of a madman, and all over the span of a few hours.
Yeah.
The
4,000 posts in a couple hours.
Yes, the dedication, and some of these posts even had images attached to them as well. A lot of users tried digging in to see if these images had anything to do with what he was talking about. They really didn't. There's one image that stood out, and it was like a handwritten version of Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye bye, always on DRM. And when I tell you it's a madman scrawlings, it's like straight up it looks like he's in like a loony bin just scrawling on the fucking wall, Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye bye. It's kind of creepy.
It really
is. That's really the only picture that has anything to do with anything. There's other pictures, like I think one was just like a pair of legs sitting on a chair, and it has nothing to do with what he's talking about. There are no like links to anything he's talking about. It's just random.
Well, yeah, and so what he does is he embeds like links into the text, and if you click on them, it's just a bunch of random ass pictures.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. The fact that he's doing that, the fact that all the fonts are different too. He's not just hitting copy paste and doing it over and over in random subs and random topics.
It's taking effort.
He's taking effort. This is his day.
Yeah.
Like he saw this hate mail and he called into work. Like, yeah, I'm not coming in today. I'm sick. And instead, just decided to sit in front of the computer and just go bananas for like 8 hours. It's maddening.
I do want to say one thing about those images. They actually come in kind of importantly later on, which is pretty cool to this whole situation.
Well, at the moment, no one sees any type of connection.
Oh, yeah.
They're just like, this guy's fucking crazy.
At this point, you just click on one of those links, you get to a picture, and you're just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at or what I'm reading. Next thing you know, 10 hours has gone by, and you've wasted your day,
you are.
And you're still looking at just Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM.
So speaking of, I guess, like just random shit in general, with all of this, Reddit's pretty good at just sleuthing and being their own detectives, which is bad in the case of like the Brooklyn bomber, but it's good in instances like this because Reddit helps us find other users that are involved in stories like this. One being Doug, if you want to take it away. So,
as he said, the internet's really good about like digging people out of the woodwork, and we get this weird. So people started looking into Yayvideogames comments before he was banned, I guess you could say, because that original post he pretty much gets banned like damn near immediately. But so that being said, we find a connection to Yayvideogames with a user. It's u/no substance here. We find Yayvideogames posting on a subreddit called r/cleanliness. Doesn't have anything to do with cleanliness at all.
What does it have to do with then?
I'm pretty positive. It's just a...
Did you look hard enough?
I didn't.
What?
Well,
I saw a toilet bowl when I did research into that sub. You mean to tell me that's not clean?
Well, we see Yayvideogames post the weirdest thing. It's out of the blue. It's just asking for magic, and that he promises he won't do anything evil with it.
Please, sir, may I have some magic? I won't do alchemy with it, sir.
Now,
Can I have some magic now?
Please,
talking to?
magic, please.
Magic, please.
Magic, please. But all the posts on it are just really cryptic, really weird, have nothing to do with anything really. It's really everything about this whole fucking story makes
I'm sorry.
very little sense.
Not to cut you off, but so isn't our cleanliness, isn't it like dirty shit? Like that's the point, is they show you like poorly cleaned things to where it's still dirty.
I mean, there's a couple posts like the toilet that you brought up. And
So
stuff.
you would just see like, oh, look at this shitty like to clean toilet. Oh, look at these counters, they're so dusty. Hey, can I have some magic, please?
I can get that magic.
I promise I won't use it for evil.
I just need a little bit of magic, please.
Yeah, I understand that there's only like 6 or 7 people in that sub, but how fucking weird if you're one of those 6 or 7 people just scrolling through and just magic. Is he talking about like magic cleaner?
eraser?
Yeah, magic eraser. I need those too. Sorry, go.
And how
go.
do you use those for evil purposes?
Rub someone's face with one and be like, get out of my life.
Evil.
But I mean, actually coming to a good point that you mentioned, there isn't a lot of people in that subreddit, and it actually made this a lot easier for the community to find out who we're looking at now. So, like I said, we're talking about no substance here. We're gonna say quite a bit of usernames.
We're not
that might
saying-
get a little confusing.
We're not saying there's no substance here. That's the guy's name. Keep that in mind.
It's
Yes.
the Reddit user's account name, yeah.
So we see an interaction on this subreddit between Yayvideogames and No Substance here. So when the internet did their thing, we go and see that this No Substance here is the moderator of Our Cleanliness, and another subreddit called Banana Freaks.
Those damn bananas in pajamas. Freaks.
It's just a matter of what they were doing before they came down the stairs. Those are the questions.
Did they come downstairs or did they fall downstairs?
God damn it. I'm hoping both.
It's a huge well, who knows what they're into?
Oh, they came for sure.
All down the stairs.
Okay.
That being said, when you go to the
Passing
Banana
joke.
Freaks subreddit, you're greeted with probably the weirdest picture I've seen in quite a bit. Just this elongated faced man, looks greasy, and he's being licked by a worm or maybe a carrot. I don't know.
I thought it was
like
a hot dog.
It's like if Bob from Bob's Burger and what's his name from Trailer Park Boys?
You got me. I've never seen Trailer Park
Not the
Boys.
guy who holds the drink. The loud one.
I've never
Anyway, it's like-
seen the
yeah,
show.
Ricky. It's like if Ricky and Bob from Bob's Burgers had like just fucked each other.
Yeah, he's definitely rocking the mullet.
Now, I know what you're all thinking, too. Damn, can I really picture this in my brain? You won't have to. When the episode comes out, I'll post the pictures on our social.
We're gonna describe to you this visual medium over this audio medium.
Next, we're going to do a Let's Play, but you can just hear the
You can
audio.
only hear us.
So anyways, getting back on topic. No Substance here. He's moderator on both of these. None of the stuff on Banana Freaks makes any sense. There's a picture of Cheetos
Called Banana Freaks.
called Banana Freaks, and just some really random shit. So we see No Substance here, posting some like weird things too. But basically, what we get into is that we're seeing the same behavior that we saw in Yayvideogames. So when you look into No Substance here's posts, you'll see stuff like that look kind of normal, but then have this like underlying repetitive tone to it. So you see, what games have you loved enough to buy twice? But then the actual description is the interrogation room underwent some changes while you were away. But then you keep seeing these posts that have what are cheat codes you'll never forget, or I think there was like, what music do you love the most in a video game? But there's always that second description that says the interrogation room underwent some changes while you were away.
It sounds like some like code word.
It sounds like the interrogation room underwent some changes while you were away.
It may have, yeah. But it sounds like, with like Men in Black stuff or guys in like suits, they walk up to each other and they're like, oh, the coffee in Antarctica is cold today, and it's like a phrase, a code for something.
Oh,
That's what that
gotcha.
sounds like to me.
Someone speaking in code speak.
The eagle hatched the wrong egg. It's like, oh.
That's a 10-4, good buddy.
Well, they're not truckers.
Well, so is there kind of like a? Do you think he's speaking in code? It doesn't sound normal. Like, why would you say that to anybody?
I mean,
Like, hey, Doug. Good morning. How are you?
oh, good, but the interrogation room went under some changes while you were away.
You're right, the weather is weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what?
It is a bit rainy today.
And it's actually kind of funny because these posts were in our gaming that he posted. That not sure.
Oh, there was.
No substance here posted in our gaming.
So it wasn't like in one of his own subs.
No,
It was,
no.
Oh shit.
So this is digging deeper into this user now. We're looking at his post substance, and
yeah.
funny that I say that, but there's no substance to these. Like,
Nice. There it
Huh.
is. Pack it up. We did it. Pack it up. Pack it
full
up.
circle, boys. Anyways, no, but I mean, the actual threads have normal discussion on it.
Aside from the so normal discussion, but it has this strange repetition of the same phrase over and over again.
I think it's just random nonsense just to get people to pay attention.
Yeah, and actually so we get kind of introduced to two more players from this. We see a post from Not Sure How Big You Are in these threads with kind of a weird underlying repetitiveness to it.
Yeah, they all start off with like relatively normal comments in the early days and then start getting slowly more and more repetitive
Mm-hmm.
the closer they get to the Yayvideogames incident.
Would you say that they're all following a very similar pattern?
Oh, absolutely.
But wouldn't you know it?
And which brings me to my next point. We get a comment from someone called Vinyl Record that says, "I had the One Ring when it was on vinyl." Just real, like, it's just right there. One comment. When you first like kind of look at these threads, it's something that you may just pass over. But just keep that in mind as well. So yeah, that's kind of where the no substance here has really no substance to it. It's just all over the place. We don't get much out of it other than seeing this pattern kind of form.
You see the pattern with him. You kind of see him with these other users as well, just displayed in different ways.
Yeah.
The post that gave it away was, I mean, you're going to see Not Sure How Big You Are all over similar posts that Vinyl Record is on, that No Substance Here is on, as well as Yayvideogames. Like, all of them are posting on each other's shit. The big one is in Our Cleanliness, and it's a post by No Substance Here that just says Zelda the Princess. And Not Sure How Big You Are.
Do you know if it had a link to it?
It did.
Those sons of bitches. That flew right over my fucking
was
head.
linked.
Those bastards.
Same. I can't believe I fucking didn't see that.
I just thought about it as you said it. I was like, oh damn.
Now that's a hipster joke.
That's smart as fuck. So yeah, it just says Zelda the Princess. Responding to No Substance Here is Not Sure How Big You Are, saying, "I saw her from the sofa," to which No Substance Here replies, "No." Not Sure How Big You Are replies, "Yes," all the time.
What a riveting conversation.
And then,
no.
the caveat of
Yes.
it all, the No Substance Here replies with, "Oh my god, oh 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 my god." You get it, just over and over and over and over and over again. So what I'm kind of seeing between all of these different users are several similarities. One being repetitive bullshit that no one understands over and over again, jacking each other's posts to where, let's say Vinyl Record starts a post, now it's Yayvideogames who's finishing it with his non-stop incessant bullshit about Steamworks and
They
Ubisoft.
all start doing it at like the same time too. It's all around
Yep.
the same time frame. They start off as normal Reddit accounts and then out of nowhere, out of the blue, just spam. Everybody gets spam. You get spam. You get spam. I get banned.
And so
What?
that seeing that all of these users are kind of posting this ridiculous, mundane bullshit just over and over again around the same time, it kind of leads you in the direction of thinking that that all these users have something to do with each other. Like either they know each other really well, or they're like they're friends, and they're like they're propagating some kind of prank on the internet, or just literally making life terrible for people who want to talk about things like Zelda.
Trolling a little bit.
Right.
Definitely
Or
seem like trolls.
the other option being is all 4 of these people are the same person.
Whoa, slow down there, cowboy.
Those are kind of the 2 major theories that we
How
have right
could they
now.
be the same? They're different accounts, you silly Willy.
And
Silly old Willy.
it took a long time. So for a while, this whole Yay Video Games mystery was... No one knew what to make of it. Like, no one knew where it led, where it came from, what the fuck was happening. Until we discover a common religious element among a few of these users.
Yes. Turns out, a couple of these guys are ex-Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, didn't see the Watchtower coming into play here, did ya?
No.
So, in a post by Not Sure How Big You Are, they talk about being an ex-Jehovah's Witness and how that caused him to almost become homeless due to it being an oppressive religious environment, which I have heard of that.
Same.
Unfortunately, I don't want to speak out my ass here, but sometimes from what I hear, if you're not following the Jehovah's code, then your family kind of just exiles you. If you decide to not follow it, that you're just dead to them. From what I hear, they just exile you from the family and call it a day.
Well, that's not very godlike.
It's
yes, it is.
Watchtower-like.
Like, yeah.
So, not sure how big you are. He also comments on a post by another user. That another user doesn't really matter. I forgot to write down his name, but it doesn't matter too much. But he just asks, what warped worldview did you have while being a Jehovah's Witness? Not sure how big you are responds with a comment that was a bit too long to write down,
Yeah,
but I did kind of sum it up, and we kind of get to see why this guy is a little, messed up.
He's got a lot of problems.
He's got a lot of problems, and this is a big reason why, I would imagine.
Yeah, and just real quick, just keeping in mind, all of these users that we talked about is the same guy at this point.
What?
That's what we're going for as far as, like,
What?
when your thought Goodbye.
Shut up. Are you serious? They're the same guy? Oh my god. I have to... I gotta go. I can't be here anymore.
Well, guys, Mike's leaving the studio. He's far too mind-fucked to continue talking.
That was me stomping away.
That
I was
was him
adding-
stomping away.
I was
Double
adding
mindfuck
theater.
since we just went over this like 5 seconds ago.
Crazy, right? So, not sure how big you are responds to this guy's question of what warped worldview did you have when you were a Jehovah's Witness? He responds with a huge comment, essentially talking about how he believed that demons were real and they were confronting him in his dreams. When he was little, he used to have bad fevers when he was a child, and he used to see a black figure come out of his wall and start pacing across his bed. Which, yeah, that's fucking
What?
creepy. You're giving me a face like, what? Yeah, that's fucking creepy. The figure, he said, would occasionally stop walking and just stare at him until he passed out. He said he would pass out either from the fever or just from total bliss and luck.
Well,
That
see,
he would
that's-
just be too tired to stay awake.
See, I hire my own guy to do that for me. This guy just kind of fell into...
Yeah, he's a...
That's how I fall asleep every night.
Pay your demons to pace around your bedroom. Don't have them do it for free.
Trust me.
They have to make a living too. Come on.
And the difference is worth it. Like,
Demon-
you get right to sleep. You don't worry about anything for the rest of the night. Yeah,
Demons
there's a
are-
creepy
yeah.
person staring at you all night.
Demons are people too. They have livelihoods.
See, I just have cats.
Same thing, really.
They just stare at me while I
They
sleep.
they stare at you and then throw up a hairball on your chest and then run away.
They're like,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
So he would see this figure in his dreams just pacing around and then stopping, staring at him, and then blacking out. He confronted his mother about these dreams. He told his mom about them. And his mom said, "Oh, yeah, those are real." She said, yeah, she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's fucking real." She said all the horrible pictures he would draw as he was a kid broke Jehovah's protection and let the demon into his room. So the mom blamed
What
a
an
kid.
ass face.
Yeah, this
Thanks,
kid's over
Ma.
here like, I drew a tree, and she's like, "You broke Jehovah's code." And I don't know why it kind of made her sound like Randy Savage.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw. You broke Jehovah's code, brother. The demon's real. You'll know pain. But that would explain a lot of the fucked up shit that this guy's gone through and why.
Well, on top of that, so this guy also has a long history of just horrid amounts of healthcare abuse. Like the healthcare system was not working well for him. He had chronic pain. He just had a ton of problems, and that, you know, mixed with this cult-like upbringing, especially with a mother who says like, well, those kids drawings that you used to make when you were a child brought a demon into your house, and now he's
haunting you.
You die.
Yeah, he's haunting you forever. You did this to yourself, Timmy.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that? And like, it's horrible to see that these circumstances arise around someone, and they pretty much start to just envelop them whole.
Now, I will say, as a man, I know someone whose parents are a Jehovah's Witness. I won't say names, but I will say this could very well just be a one-off type of scenario, because they're fine. Their parents never did this to them and said, the demons are real. You brought them on our house. So this might just be an instance of a crazy mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who might be a little too, taking, you know, the Jehovah's Witness lifestyle a little too literal.
That could be for sure. I do know that the Jehovah's Witness lifestyle is definitely, it's got a pretty rigid structure around it to where if you deviate even a little bit, they're like, nope, go fuck yourself. You don't
want
bother
blood?
coming here. Like,
Oh.
yeah, none of that. But yeah, it's, if you read back through his post history, he talks about, you know, dealing well with these different things growing up, and like that's just it's a sad set of circumstances around everything.
Yeah, he mentions in like a huge comment thread again how he suffers from chronic pain, like you were saying.
Yeah.
How he's bedridden half the time because he's just in so much pain he can't get up.
So
he's got back issues.
Yeah, he's got a ton of different types of issues. Now, knowing this, and let's say if you were to line up all of these users' posts like in a chronological order, you could basically take a ruler and put it across all of these post histories, and it would line up like with the freaky,
To the day.
like, the repetition, the everything. Like you start to kind of notice some things.
The
Like,
moment
these four
Ye-
different users have this overlap that you can't ignore it because the timing is too perfect.
It seems like when Yayvideogames made like the 4,000 comments, that was kind of like the catalyst to
Yeah,
it
that was
all.
like the break.
That was the break. Yeah. And you'll see, like, again, I don't know if you guys are going a little bit too more deep into it or not on your portion, but he's even talking about how he was a badly prescribed medication from a doctor for psychosis and stuff.
It was called Lyrica, I think.
Either
sounds
way,
right.
Something like that. Yeah.
he's had all these issues and prescribed all these medications to where there's no it's obvious how this guy could get a little broken and a little messed up, you know? He wasn't given the proper support.
A lot of substance abuse, a lot
Exactly.
of, you know, not knowing kind of what was wrong with him, and then kind of figuring it out, but still just the medical system just totally fucked
Oh,
him.
it sucks. I mean, I work in it.
Yeah.
And it like I love what I do, but I also can definitely see the different venues that the healthcare system just fucks everyone over.
You've held a beating heart in your hands.
And ate it.
I mean, I don't like to give my secrets away. But
Kalima. Kalima.
that actually is the basis of all Western medicine. But no, so like you've got these different users kind of experiencing or either experiencing or saying the same things, the same kind of contextual rambling bullshit that no one can make heads or tails of. It happens all around the same time. And there's actually there's a pretty damn good reason for all of that. And there's somebody that kind of puts that into clarification for us.
We actually get someone that knows who these people are. I guess it's a spoiler who this person is, because they're all the same goddamn person. We actually get a look, an insight into a friend, you could say.
Yeah, and it goes back to a post that Not Sure How Big You Are actually brought up a while back when he was actually posting nonsensical things. But one of his posts, he mentions that, you know, he had to drop out of his friend's band, and then he goes into saying that they're,
Was
you
it
know,
Sodom?
I don't remember.
I think that was it.
Yeah, he it was a very vague comment, but basically says I had to drop out of the band. I have no energy to do anything, and now they're, you know, in Germany and Japan and getting a better record deal, and they're going to be at some music festival, and
Right.
he kind of, you can tell he's just bummed out by all means.
Oh yeah. I mean,
But,
I would be.
We get silence. So in about I think it's the very end of 2014, all the accounts go silent. We have this lead up into, this weird internet mystery, as we do, with just silence. And then we go into, I want to say it was early 2019 or late 2019.
Sounds right.
The post just says 1 year ago, so I have to assume it might have actually been in 2020.
It could have
because
been.
we're now in 2021, which is just fucked up. But
Yeah.
anyways, so we have the subreddit Yayvideogames. We get this guy. His name is Luke McLeish. He comes in and says, "Hey guys, I'm Luke, and I'm one of Yayvideogames' best friends. Ask me anything." Right off the bat, you get a bunch of users just going, challenging his authenticity, being like, prove it, this and that, prove it, yada yada.
Well, in this kind of like, in this realm of information, like knowing exactly if something is accurate or not is very important to to us, to everyone who researches it. So you have to. It might seem a little off-putting to be like, we know like some of the things that you're saying are like this. It's horrible for him, but like we need to make sure that you are who you say you are.
Well, when I was looking at that same sub too, one of the guys was like, "Hey, we need proof. Sorry to rain on your parade, but we've had dozens of people come in here saying this exact same thing, so we need proof that you're actually his friend or something."
Yeah, and he so kind of jumping forward just a little bit, he does end up being deemed worthy of who he is. He posts some pictures of,
he actually shows some evidence.
Yeah, he's got pictures of him. He's,
so this actually
he's got his Facebook.
This is Yayvideogames, one of his best friends.
Yeah, this is actually one of the guys he was in the band with.
Oh shit,
he was supposed to be. So he kind of, like I said, he proves it. He gives us all of his an iTunes account. We find his PlayStation account, his Steam account, his Facebook, and he introduced us. And I'm gonna read the actual first post he makes. There's a lot of posts that he makes, so I'm not gonna read through everything. Please go and check out the Yayvideogames subreddit. You'll get way more information off of this AMA.
It's the first post.
Yeah, it's pinned at the top. So he says, "Hey guys, I'm Luke, and I'm one of Yayvideogames' best friends. Ask me anything. First off, let me say it's a great surprise to see such a big community around my best mate. I had no idea about this until today. His name is Lyndon. We lost him at the beginning of 2015. Life hasn't been the same since. Someone reached out to me on Facebook, so I thought I'd come over here and shed some light on Lyndon's life. Lyndon was an amazingly kind and intelligent guy who was really creative. He was constantly creating art and music, which he never recorded to my knowledge. Animation, of which I have some in the archives, and he loved storytelling. He had a small group of friends in real life as he bailed on high school and started isolating himself due to his chronic illness in about 2005. We miss him very much. Due to his JW background, he never let us know the day he was born, but based on bits and pieces I picked up over the years, it would have been his 31st birthday last February. So he's actually like pretty close to our age,
Yeah.
I know he would have loved that there's this much mystery around him after he left us, but I think there's some important topics to cover here. Chronic pain, self-medication, invisible illness, the allied health system, and how important it is to seek to be among others in some way. I hope that we can draw some closure out of this and hopefully move a little closer towards having further understanding and compassion towards people who may be in the position Lyndon suffered through."
Damn.
Yeah, it's a heavy topic.
It's absolutely like it. Up until what? So when did this post show up on Reddit?
Well, it said a year ago.
It says a year ago, so I have to assume either late 2019 or sometime in 2020.
And it does line up. He said they lost him in early 2015. He stopped posting. All these accounts stopped posting in late 2014. So
I think it says like it was January, right?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
But either way, it all lines up.
Absolutely, and it like the people have checked, double checked, triple checked. There's still people on this thread like asking like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Like there's still people making 100% sure.
He even posted pictures of Lyndon, like I believe it was like when he was a sophomore in high school or something, and then one like a year before he passed away. And
unfortunately, all of this is true. He did pass away, and we didn't find out for a bit, but it turns out the ultimate cause of death was suicide.
Yeah, which is very upsetting because the story itself, I was really hoping it wasn't real. There was a moment where I was like, oh, this looks like a really fun story of maybe a person with multiple personality
Oh yeah.
disorder, and all the personalities are clashing together or something. I was like, wow, that's a really awesome story we're reading here. And then it turns out this shit is real.
Yeah, I was really
It's
banking
very
on this one being an
upsetting.
ARG.
Yeah.
So when I first started, like when I first found out about this, I don't know why, but the repetition, the weirdness behind all of it just struck a chord with me, and I had to know everything about it. And this was a while ago. This was before we discovered anything about his, his death, his friend, like anything like that.
Yeah, because we had been on this topic before.
Yeah.
We even had a podcast
Idea. This
like,
is back when we were like in quarantine, just being like, "Hey, this is a creepy video. You should watch this."
Yep.
And like, I don't know why, but I thought the 4,000 posts in a couple of hours was just floored me, and that just got me off on this kick to research this.
It also seems like everyone about it is like super respectful,
Well, now.
which is nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you go on the Yay Video Games subreddit, everyone's like, "Oh, this was really fun. It's sad to see that he's gone," and everyone's just upbeat, and they're like, "Oh, I was just introduced to Yay Video Games. This was fun." And I guess that could probably explain why there's not that many videos on like YouTube or something about Yay Video Games. Just no one wants to really touch on the topic anymore,
Well,
because just let it rest.
Yeah, that and plus before it was such an obscure topic. Like all of the stuff that we're researching now, like we would have been some of the first people to find it, and we researched this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I think, instead of leaving it to rest, I think it's nice to talk about it, because obviously this guy had a story he wanted to tell, and I think the best way to, tell to keep his memory going is to tell the story and have people listen to it again.
Luke does end up actually saying something about him being like a prankster in real life.
Yeah.
And that he was like always super dedicated to the pranks, and like we kind of get this overtone from Luke that he feels like this was just one of his elaborate pranks that he didn't want to like steer away from, I guess you could say.
Right.
But it's also real bizarre, so like,
and
props to him.
Absolutely. And speaking of Luke, like talking about how he liked to play these pranks on people, and like they were really elaborate, and he was really good at them. Like this definitely falls under his his area of expertise about fooling a whole bunch of people into thinking that something is really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that is contributed to by Yay Video Games' inability to kind of cope with like the pain that he's going through, and like just his life, his childhood trauma. And so Luke actually reads something or send something to the Reddit group that I'd like to read out, just kind of in honor of Lyndon.
Sure.
Which was the guy's actual name.
Yeah.
Yay Video Games. Just to get everyone caught up, his real name is Lyndon Wachtel, or Watchtel. I don't know how to pronounce it. He lived in Melbourne, in Australia.
Which they did. Sorry, I don't think we mentioned it at all either, but you see a connection to Melbourne, Australia in some of Yay Video Games comments. Or was it
Vinyl Records?
In Vinyl Records, yeah.
And he asks about someone wanting to live with someone who's overly medicated.
Yeah.
And that was from not sure how big you are.
Yeah.
There's that one.
Yep.
So it's spread out along all of these. But so Luke said, in regards to like him passing away, Luke says, Lynn felt so out of control of everything around him. His unresolved trauma, his chronic illness, his isolation. He'd always said nobody was taking his pain seriously. Nobody meaning his medical team and caseworkers assigned to him after he wasn't able to leave the house anymore. He'd go through waves of being okay and lucid, playing games with us online, sharing music, then he'd isolate for a few weeks or even months at a time. Every time he came back out of it all, he'd be re-energized and have all kinds of new art music to show us. He had a huge personality and was passionate about so many things. We would get swept up in those too. Towards the end, he called me a couple of times saying he was going to kill himself and it would take an hour or more to bring him around to wanting to live again. A big part of him desperately wanting to live and connect and get back out in the world, but he would say that he didn't know how to anymore, that it had been too long. I was sick myself at the time, but we'd agreed that we would stay around, and once I had gotten out of the hospital, we would work together on getting him back on track with his education and seeing the places he wanted to see. He was really positive about this idea, and he started eating better, even doing some exercises I'd written up for him, saying that his pain got much better after those. He just used to be a fantastic rollerblader and was talking about getting back into that once he had lost some weight the Lyrica had put on. I didn't get to speak with him while I was in there, and in that month he'd made the decision to take his life. I feel it was the only way that he could perceive that would stop all the pain and hurt that he was carrying and to take control of his situation once and for all. I just wish that it wasn't that way. We loved him so much. It's taken years to even begin to get my head around the guilt of not knowing that that was going to happen and that he felt so alone. So, I mean, not to throw a huge dampener on everything. Like, it's super sad. And it's tragic that
it's a super sad but interesting story nonetheless.
Oh, absolutely.
It's definitely a telling story of how, obviously, if you're feeling, the way that he was, if any part of you feels you need help, you should reach out to people.
Please.
Just like how Yayvideogames was reaching out to his buddy, and it was working for a while. He even said it. But there's no problem asking for help. No shame in it.
Mental illness is real serious, and a lot of people go through it and don't even realize it. So
yes, I even have the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline here. So if you or anyone, I shouldn't say anyone should call, but the number is 800-273-8255. Again, no shame in asking for help.
Absolutely.
Everyone needs it occasionally, and I feel, I don't know about you boys, but I think it's a good idea if we make any type of money off of this episode, like from now on to the end of days, any of those proceeds should go towards the National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
Absolutely.
I'd absolutely be okay with that. I might have trouble quantifying just that episode, but
I don't know how
we'll make a
figure it out.
donation.
Yeah,
we'll absolutely figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll have a donation of at least, it'll be at least $50-$100 to National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And please, if you know anyone who's struggling with anything like this, please get them in contact with somebody who can actually help. Like it means the world to a lot of people that you're looking out for them. Like that in itself should speak volumes. But if they can actually get the help they need and you're able to save somebody's life like that, please, 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 please speak up. Like, don't stay silent.
Hell, you can even reach out to us at our Gmail. And,
Absolutely.
if you just want someone to talk to.
Yeah, if you just want to vent, our email's open.
Yeah.
I'll say hi. I'll give you a funny joke or not funny joke. Who knows? And you'll either
one
laugh.
of those two.
You'll either laugh or you'll stop listening. It's one of the fucking two. Yeah, and again, we don't mean to end on like a low note or anything, but again, it's a really interesting story. We thought it had to be told, and it's right up our alley of don't look under the internet.
Definitely.
So I'm glad we got it out there. I'm glad everyone knows about it. And what was his name again? Lucas? Was that the
Luke
friend's name?
McLeish?
Yeah, like he even said, the best way to keep Yayvideogames memory alive is by listening and sharing the story. So tell your friends about the story too. Tell them to listen to the podcast.
Well, yeah,
So
we're kind of
plug.
contributing to
Exactly.
So
We're keeping his memory alive.
These aren't fun topics. Like they can be very fun, but when they end in something like this, it can put a little spin on what we normally do, which is we try to bring as much humor and comedy to horrible topics that usually aren't real. But today,
this one turns out it is kind of real. Episode 4, baby.
Which I will say, I'm extremely excited for our next episode. We'll actually be doing some spooky detail.
Do you want to give a small hint to what the next episode is, or do you want to just keep it in the mystery?
I think I just want to keep it here.
Oh, fuck. I got to bring the humor back because now I'm uncomfortable with the sadness.
You're blue-balling, Mike.
Are we signing off here, gentlemen?
I mean, I can't think of anything else to talk about.
Do we have any last opinions on anything?
Sorry,
bastard!
Jesus.
I just ate a sneeze to not sneeze into the microphone.
It's
Is
okay,
that what
though.
you were doing over there?
Yeah,
It's
just
okay,
look over
though.
and just...
I'm the one that does the bad shit, so it's okay if I do it.
Okay, yeah,
I
Mike's
was like
the
over here,
guinea
just
pig.
like.
Yeah, boys, go ahead and sign off. Is there anything you want to say to the people?
I will say I want to say a thank you to the people in r/Yayvideogames for providing a huge amount of content for us to look through, as well as Nexpo. Nexpo has he does some of the best videos on these topics. Granted, it takes him a while to pump videos out, but that's just because of how high quality his videos are.
There's also
think of everything.
Fantastic Francis has one as well.
I mean, there's a slew of YouTubers that we definitely use as a resource. But I mean, Reddit above and beyond, pretty much like that is where
that's our main one.
That's where I go to start every one of these episodes. So thank you guys so much for giving us content that we can flesh out and provide to you guys over this audio medium that hopefully you're either laughing at or yelling at or evoking some kind of emotional response to.
They're all probably just like, oh, These guys don't know shit. Here we go.
Doug, is there something you would like to say to the people? The
Yeah,
beautiful people?
I think
Good
this topic was really heavy. You get a little bit more of the heaviness when you actually go to the Reddit and kind of follow along with stuff. If you watch the videos, you get a little more insight into it because it's that visual medium. But it's all this stuff is really serious, and we wanted to keep it fun, but also
Yeah, it was
not disrespect.
It was harder for us to
life.
crack jokes about stuff just because we knew the ending, and like we don't want to shit on anybody on purpose, like the people of Corbin, Kentucky, or anything like that.
I
we
still
can shit
shit
on
on
them all the time.
Fuck you, Corbin, Kentucky.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
go eat your
Fucking
chicken.
assholes! God, you ruined the episode, Corbin, Kentucky.
They always find their way into things. I'm pissed.
I'm upset.
And I would just like to say, I know before I would say eat your teeth. I'm not going to say that this time around. I'm going to say brush them. The dentist appreciates that more than the lack of. But I would say your toenails. Cut them off.
Oh.
The whole thing.
Just the toes or toenails?
Just the toenails. And then what you want to do, rearrange them. Take the pinky one, put it on the big toe. Take the middle one, put it on the pinky toe. Rearrange.
Are we
Have
super
fun
gluing
with
them?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Have fun with it. And then throw out all the food in your fridge.
What is this a recipe for?
Disaster.
Is this a spell? Are we doing a spell?
We'll get
A
there.
ritual?
Eventually, we'll get to
Or
rituals.
are we just making cheesecake?
Out of everything in the fridge. All right, baby.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Please remember to always, always, always stay paranoid.
Hug your dad.
And bake peens and slap beans.
Oh, bake them?
Bake the peens.
Bake the peens.
Slap your beans.
Hug your mother,
It's
too.
a little different.
Well, not after that. Don't hug your mother after baking peens and slapping beans.
Why not?
Where do you think her mouth has been?
On the
Your
bean.
dad's peen.
I'm out of here.
Goodbye.
Oh, man.
Oh, hey, by the way, I'm back. I stormed out, but I came back. Follow us on social media. Everything is DelutiPod. Gmail, DelutiPod@gmail.com. Facebook, don't look under the internet. Twitter, @DelutiPod. Also, our link tree is in the description. Go there. You can see everything. So you won't have to worry about the shit that I just said. Just go to the link tree. Follow us for fuck's sake. All right, I'm out again.